What's up people, Tatsujin is right here, and welcome to episode 3 of my 5 gems of consoles. Yes, I'm going to probably call it that, I don't care, to be honest. I just like to have a bit of fun with yous. Anyway, last episode we did the Nintendo Wii U. As you guys know, the Nintendo Wii U didn't really succeed a lot on the internet, and as Nintendo fans alike. But it still had its gems, like I pretty much said for my own opinions. Now, today's episode is the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch is going extremely strong, to be honest. It's probably one of the best consoles out there to this very date. And I know a lot of people are going to have their own opinions, saying, oh no, Xbox is better, PlayStation better, Nintendo's better. I don't really care because I actually have every single console that is known by true collectors. And I just have opinions on what is good about them and what is bad about them. And to be honest, every single console is pretty much almost the same. One beats the other, that's all I'm saying. And the other beats the other. They're pretty much all neutral to me because it depends on the games they have and depends on how good they are. And the Nintendo Switch, holy crap, they have some amazing gems. They really do. But sadly for me though, the Nintendo itself as a company are making their games extremely expensive or very hard to come by because the games are just too expensive. A brand new copy, luckily you can probably get one for 30 quid, but mostly they're around about 50 to 60 to even £70 a copy. And yeah, I can't fork that lot up for one game. I can't do that. You guys know me, I'm a stingy person when it comes to video games. I like to buy my games cheap. And even when you're waiting for them to be on pre-owned, like they've been, somebody's already had them before, they're still selling for at least 35 to 40 quid for a pre-owned copy. I can't do that either. It's stupid prices. That's why nowadays, when it comes to Nintendo Switch games, I read them when they're on clearance, and that's when I pick them up, because that's the only way I can really do it. So pretty much I can tell you, to simplify it, I don't have a lot of Nintendo Switch games, but I do have enough to pretty much tell you my gems, because I think I picked 5 in my collection that are gems in my eyes, and I'll tell you the reasons why. So let's get this down for my 5 gems for the Nintendo Switch. Like I said, they're not in order, I'll just tell you them as they go along. The first one is the Ring Fit Adventure. This is a gem. Now a lot of people are thinking this is just a freaking phase, this is a fad, nobody buys this. Now listen to me. Excuse me. This works. It really works. Now if people saying that's a lie, look what you look like now, people. Yeah, I may still look a bit chunky and everything, but believe me, this thing does work. It makes you sweat. It makes you lose a couple of pounds. And if you really don't believe me as well, you better have a look at me. Watch some actual YouTubers who play on this every single day and look at the transformation that they have turned into. It's amazing. This is like a cheaper version of DDP Yoga. Oh yeah. Cheaper version. Now you can pretty much get this one about 60 to 70 quid brand spanking new, but if you can find it cheaper with the ring itself, buy it right away. Even if you're not good at getting fit or anything, still the game is a lot of fun because it's like an RPG but with exercise. I like that because, like I said, I prefer doing exercising but playing by doing video games. And this is actually really fun. I think this is 100% better than the Wii Fit, the Wii Sports, any other exercise game that's ever been released, like Zumba or the Wii Fit Trainer or anything like that. This is the best one. It's so much fun. And if you haven't given it a try, try and pick it up because it's absolutely fun. I know there is some stores around where I live still have it, and oh my god, definitely pick it up. It's an absolute awesome game. And like I said, I've just showed you a few little clips anyhow on what people are like when they're playing this game and how much exercise they got and how much they lost for doing that particular game. Next up, it's a childhood game of mine. I used to have this and then I sadly lost it when I was a kid, but when I found out that it was getting a remaster on the Switch, I had to buy it. And that is the Sphinx, the Curse of the Mummy. Holy crap, this game is fun. Now pretty much a lot of people would say this is a knockoff, cheaper version of Legend of Zelda. True and not true. You play as 2 different characters. You can play as the Sphinx or you can play as the Mummy. The Mummy is pretty much all about puzzles, and if you like puzzles, you're in your element. With the Sphinx and everything, it's more combat, more doing temples and tombs and few little missions. A lot straightforward. Boss fights are fun. The story is fun. A lot of plot twists and everything. But to be honest though, for a game that was in my childhood, this had to become a gem for me. This may not be rare, but still, I'd encourage you guys to try and give it a go because it is a lot of fun. Like I said, I've shown you some clips anyhow. So, please people, definitely go ahead and try and pick this game up because it's a lot of fun. It's a good childhood game for me. And if you want to know what I played when I was a kid, this is definitely one of the games you want to play. Next up, this pretty much took me back to going to Japan. And I played it, this was the first game I ever played when I was in Japan in the arcades. And that is Taiko no Tatsujin. The drum game, if you guys want to know. And you guys have seen this all over YouTube. We have people playing Megalovania, people playing Baby Metal. There's so many great games, great songs in this, and of course this is on the PS4 as well. But I think it's better on the Nintendo Switch because there's lots of good games, good songs on this that are exclusive to Nintendo than PlayStation. And pretty much, it's just as good as Guitar Hero, Rock Band, the Dance Dance Revolution. It's pretty much a time-based game, but with a drum. It's pretty much a better version than Donkey Kong Kongers, and you guys know how good Donkey Kong Kongers were. This is better, to be honest, way better. I think this came out way before Kongers, Donkey Kong Kongers, because this was originally was an arcade machine back in Japan for many years, and it finally got its own new copy for the UK because they did have these released in Japan on the PSP and the PS3, but it never came over here until this came out for the PS4 and the Nintendo Switch. If you guys have not found it, please try and find it. I know you can buy them in Argos in the United Kingdom for a good price. I even know it is 90 quid, but you get the drum and everything for it, so pretty much it's all gravy anyway. And I'm sure you can actually buy these on eBay for a lot more money than it's supposed to be. So if you do find them, get them as soon as, because these are getting expensive and rare. And it's definitely a gem for me. Next up, sadly I don't have the expensive version, but it's just as good. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Now, like I said, you may be thinking, what do you mean by the expensive version? Pretty much the expensive version is pretty much the same game, but with a bit of DLC in it that's already installed in it. I can maybe make this as the DLC game if I just buy the DLC on its own on the Nintendo store. It's the same thing, it's just because it has it already planted in, so you don't need to pay for it. So this game is like around about £60 to £70 game to then the new one with the DLC stuff in it. That's going for like 100 to 120 to even 150 quid if it's in brand spanking new condition. But either way, this is a gem. If you guys love number 2, I mean if you love number 1, you're going to love number 2. And the same thing with Xenoblade Chronicles X that was on the Wii U. It wasn't as good, but still it was the Predator of this game. It was pretty much a starting up point for this. And like I said, everything about this was so much fun. Just like number 1, but a lot more epic and a lot more looking around for stuff. And I think it's a lot bigger, and it's actually more better than the first one. Because the world is more unique than any other open world I've ever seen. It's very unique. And the way the combat is, it's a synchronized combat. So pretty much one fights, then the next, it's synchronized, okay? Which I do like in RPGs, but the story makes this game. The story is freaking phenomenal, and that's why it's definitely a gem in my eyes. Because if the story was that bad, this wouldn't have been a gem. But the story made this game. It really did. So if you guys haven't played it, please try and find it if you're lucky. If you're not lucky, try and find it on the Nintendo eStore. I'm sure it's a bit more cheaper as a digital download, but I can't say for sure. And the final game for today, the 5th one I'm going to talk about, is pretty much a fun game for everyone to play. And that's 51 Worldwide Games. This doesn't need to say anything about it. 51 games in one. Pretty much like a lot of people say it's like Action 52, but it's nothing like Action 52 on the NES. Any single game that you guys know from Japan, China, Korea, Russia, England, America, Spain, France, they're all in this. They're all in it. So if you want to play Mahjong and you don't have a board, This has it. You want to play chess? It has in this. You want to play darts? In here. Do you want to play snooker? It's in here. You want to play Chinese checkers? It's in here. You want to play cars? It's in here. You want to play table football? It's in here. It has them all in this game. And there's a lot of childhood games in this. Yes, it's not the board games like Monopoly or anything like that, but understandable. This is like the beginning of board games. Card games. Connect 4. Like old school classics. And if you want to learn some old games from other countries, you can learn them on this because it tells you how to play it. And boy, I'm actually getting good at playing Mahjong. And at the beginning of when I first ever played Mahjong, I was freaking terrible at it. Thanks to this game, it's helped me a lot. So probably, you might see me in Japan going into a Mahjong coffee shop and play some Mahjong against some Japanese people. So I'm excited, but this game, if you've not had a chance to find this, please try and find it. I'm sure it's going cheaper now. It's actually getting cheaper because a lot of people are not buying it. But when I bought it, I thought I wasted my money. But when I started playing it, I loved it. It's definitely a gem in my eyes. And if you guys don't believe me, you don't know what you're talking about. If you guys haven't played it, you cannot say if it's a bad game or a good game. You've got to play it before you have your own opinion. And that's my 5 games that I picked from my own gem collection for my Nintendo Switch. Is there any, if you guys do have a Nintendo Switch, please tell me what are your gems. And if you think I picked the wrong choices, tell me what else I would pick. And like I said, I'm not picking anything that was literally with Nintendo, like Mario games, because they're Mario. They're his mascot, I can't pick them. But either way, this is all I have to pick for my gems. Next episode, let's go a bit older now. Let's go back to the past. And I'm talking about way back into the past. Let's talk about the Famicom, the family computer from Japan. I'll see you guys for episode 4 for the family computer. The people, I'm still going to see you guys for subscribing, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheerio!